Let's hello? Whoa. One second.
Y-
Oh,
Nope.
one sec.
We're not
Why am
ready.
I
Ready?
give me 1 second? This is
Uh-oh.
that was weird. All right. That was I just had a quick real mishap, but we're all better now. I don't know what happened there. That was interesting.
You sound a little groggy there, buddy.
I just woke up how long ago? Maybe 30 minutes ago, I want to say.
Yeah. I was like, I got ready early, like, oh, he said 10, maybe he wants to get out of the way. You guys should
Yeah.
10:30. And 10:09, 10:30. I kind of figured at that point.
Yeah, it was I don't know what do you ever have this where you get out of bed but you really don't? You're really just saying lying to yourself saying I'm getting out of bed and then you just fall back asleep for another 2 hours.
uh, Not all the time, but it has happened where like I'm like, all right, I have a plan. I'm gonna do it. So I'm gonna lay here for a little bit and then get right to my plan, and then all plans are off.
Yeah. So that's kind of what happened to me this morning. I woke up at a bright shiny 8 a.m. and then I don't know. It just fell back asleep. So then I woke up at 10 and then or a little bit after 10 and that's when I saw your message and I was like, yeah, well, let's do this at 10:30. Give me some time to make something
Yeah,
to eat really quick and by make something to eat, I think I'm turning more and more into Seinfeld because I'm just eating more cereal these days.
really, more cereal. Okay. What is the cereal of choice?
Oh, David. Now that I'm older, it is
I didn't know this was such a like elaborate question to be answered. I'm like, ah, let me tell you what about my liver.
it's more what's happened is I had a health check and they're just like, "Hey, your sugars are crazy and stuff like that," and they're like, "You need to be eating better." And so I was like, "Well, I'm eating." I'm like, "Well, they're like, what are you doing for breakfast?" I'm like, "Well, I'm eating a lot of cereal." They're like, "What kind of cereal?" I'm like, like Frosted Flakes and all the fun kid stuff." They're like, "No, you're not a kid anymore." I'm like, "Says who?" So I've switched to bran. So I'm eating bran cereal.
Says your colon. I know. I've always liked, like, I always liked Raisin Bran because I like raisins. So like Raisin Bran was always something. Even when I was a kid, I liked, enjoyed it. Uh, yeah, I don't. I mean, because of the lactose issue, I don't do cereal anymore. So
Yeah, I've also switched to well, I do like you know uh like you said the brand with raisin, the raisin brand, but I found it cheaper and more economic if I buy the raisin separate and buy the brand separate because it's so misleading. They say that they're giving you 2 scoops of raisins, but I'm like, what scoop are they using? Like there may be like 4 raisins in this. So I like to control the raisinness of my brand, which is
are you
Maury.
are you like using like one box of raisins per bowl?
I'm using like a one fourth box, and I'm getting big bowls. It's very Friday. You know what I mean? Where I get that big bowl out, do it like
Mm.
that. But I am I've been doing, as you know, I've been doing a lot of pancakes with bananas, but I'm kind of off that tip right now. But I'm still buying bananas, so I'm putting bananas, raisins, and bran together and doing it like that. So that's kind of
I
that
just
was
I
kind of
I just made a smoothie. So I had frozen some blueberries and some strawberries, and then uh, we picked up some OJ and some bananas, and I made a smoothie using our Ninja. Considering that we've had it for like a couple months, we've never used the Ninja. Like, oh, this would be awesome! Look at all the shit we can do with it. And like we haven't done nothing. We haven't done anything with this goddamn blender.
You know, the last time I was with your house, I was at your house. I want to say it was in January. Um, you had like two blenders. So is this like your third blender?
Did we have two blenders? I know we had a blender and a food processor.
Okay, yeah, I was probably getting those two confused. Well, food processor is somewhat like a blender, I would say.
And somewhat like a blender, it's just like you're not putting a lot of liquids in a food processor. It's kind of more for like chimichurris and just quick, maybe compote butters and shit.
Yeah.
I sound like
So
I'm a chef, right?
right, Mr. Calling. So it is an on Drink by, and
No, you.
let- let's find out what we're drinking. It's gonna be one of those shows, David.
I'm doing screwdriver today. Oh yeah, isn't it always? I'm doing screwdriver. Oh, and I should be mixing with my fever tree sticks over here. Kind of plug this brand for no reason. I'm not using anything. Fever tree.
Yeah. Well, I'm
So
doing. And what were you saying about the fever tree?
no, I was like, what are you making? I was literally gonna ask, what are you drinking?
Oh, well, I'm drinking gin and juice, and the juice is OJ. So we're both kind of drinking screwdrivers in a way. You're drinking a
There you
screwdriver. I'm
go.
drinking a Phillips, I guess.
You got the flathead out.
Yeah. Right? Well, isn't that the Phillips? I always get those two confused. One, you know, there's the Phillips and then there's the
There
Plus.
isn't. I don't think there is. The Phillips is the plus.
Oh, it's no, it's the flathead.
No, that's a flathead. I got the flathead and the star. That's
Yeah.
the cross. Phillips is the cross.
Yeah. I'm not very uh,
Unless you
construction
buy IKEA
oriented.
furniture, then yeah. Unless you buy IKEA furniture, then it's just a hexagonal fucking L wrench that doesn't fit. And, like you're just turning and turning, and you're like hands.
Yeah.
Shaking.
Yeah.
It's a prison.
The hexagon key. Is that what it's called? No,
Yeah.
Allen wrench. Those are the Allen wrenches.
No, it's an L wrench, isn't it? That was an L wrench.
Well, I call them Allen wrenches.
You
I
see
don't
how
know.
handy we are. You see how
I know.
handy we
I'm not. And speaking of handy, I would like to say that I have finally declared freedom to the laundromat. I'm
are. Oh,
this much closer, that much closer to getting my laundry unit being put in. I'm in the final stage, and now I just need the HOA approval. So, if HOA, if you're listening, approve it, approve my credit.
do we have a little of your HOAs listening? No.
Nobody's listening, David. Nobody's watching either. We went from like 30 views a week, and then we took breaks, and now it's like,
No, nobody knows. Like, I don't give a shit about these guys.
yeah,
We got to bring it
uh,
back. Got to bring it back to the cove.
I know, I know. Welcome to the wonderful world of podcasting. We do, and I know we've been saying that. It's just, schedules are just not aligning this year. Really, really, really weird. Last year, our schedules aligned pretty well, but this year has been kind of a logistical kind of mess.
Well, you moved
So
away. That made it a
there
lot harder.
was that. Yeah, that made it a way, way harder. So we'll see. Yeah. Well, it made it harder, yes and no. It made it harder that I'm gone, but I mean I could still drive down, and every now and then I do the pop in at the cove when I can. and it's very infrequent, but I love popping in there and being greeted as such the celebrity where they turn off the music like, "Oh my God, Albert!" And I'm just like, "Stop!" It's fun. I do enjoy it.
Whenever you need,
So
it's like I go to the Cove when I need an ego boost.
yes,
Actually, I was thinking of stopping by this weekend. I know, uh, haven't partaken of the Cove recently, and tis the birthday weekend, so
birthday weekend. I'm glad you mentioned that because as guys, we don't do the whole birthday month thing, right? Do you?
no, I barely use the day now. Like I tend to just do a dinner with friends, and it's like, and that's it. That's like my annual birthday.
Yeah.
And
For me,
one of my Lynn was unavailable to make it to dinner, so we had to reschedule for her to ask. Punch her in the
oh
fucking
man.
throat.
You know what? Just give me her number. I will call her personally.
I'm sure you would. Hey, I'm actually surprised you guys haven't like, well, not like that, but like exchange numbers. Maybe she
I
just
know.
realized that like she doesn't want you.
Yeah, she's like, that would be a really bad idea. So that's what she probably thinks. Oh man. Uh what is going on else? My father is in town. Um
Oh,
he
nice.
arrives, yeah, he arrives sometime today, but of course, he's only here for like a week or two. Maybe a week, maybe two, but it's going to be an interesting week. You know, he he's here for my niece's quinceañera, but
Mm.
yeah, but that's the following week, and I have been tapped to do the photography for that. So kind of excited. I
I
rarely
remember you
get
mentioning
trigger.
that.
Yeah, I rarely get trigger time these days. So whenever I get some trigger time, I get really excited. So and two, I think event photography is my niche. Not I'm not really a wedding photographer guy. I am the party atmosphere of it, but just directing people to like, oh, move your hand there and let's get closer, or or when you see those stupid words like now act like you love each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You take the
yeah.
photo.
It's like, oh, okay. Look at her. Look at her right shoulder, but like pretend you're looking at her left shoulder, and you're like, wait, what? What the fuck?
But try not to think about it. But make it look like you're not thinking about it.
Well, it was like even when we took those school pictures with the cool laser background, it was always like you had your feet to the left, but you had to turn your torso, and then like you had this look like, the fuck, am I looking at a camera or not? Like I don't
Yeah.
know what's going on here. Why can't I just face the camera?
Yes, exactly. But those photos were always came out really well. So, I was never mad at them. Those were pretty good photos. So,
Some very photogenic kids.
yeah. So, is this your quinceañera? Are you gonna make it like this weekend is your quinceañera weekend?
No, I'm just, I haven't been to the Cove, maybe want a Big Mac or, just something, small. Because, like I said, normally my birthday consists of a dinner, and that's about it. Um, the wife has been home this week, just took a little vacay. So we actually, I got to do some cooking. We made a tomahawk this week.
Mm.
So, yeah, so tomahawk steak with some mashed potatoes, and I used shallot and garlic infused ghee into the mashed potato. Try to be fancy. It was I enjoy like doing the shopping and then like doing like getting everything right. Like my wife not so much. She doesn't like to go shopping, but she appeases me by it. So like I'd rather us pick what we want and what we get. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But
I'm a very bachelor oriented shopper. I just make the list and I really do not you know, steer away from that. Do you go shopping around, you know, the grocery store? Are you a list guy?
I'm a list guy. There occasionally you'll see like we there are a couple pop ups. Like, oh, we should just get this just in case. Uh, but ultimately, I'm a list guy. Like I have my plan. I have my battles. I know my routes in the. So I always hated like during COVID and they had all the arrows and which way you had to go through the supermarket. I was like, no, I'm
Yeah.
gonna go my way. I like my way. I have a way.
I get it, but that was so confusing during COVID. It's like I enjoyed it, but oh man, if you guys could go back and listen to when we had Shane on, that was hilarious because he was talking about that, and it was one of my most favoriteest shows because he's like people are the way he talked about the grocery store during that time was just so spot on. I don't know if you remember that one or not, but it was
I
pretty
don't off
accurate.
the top of my head. I can't.
Yeah, it was very accurate.
Shit, I can't remember. Like I don't even remember what number we're on right now. Is this like 160?
This is 160. Yes, yes, this is officially 160. The past from 150 to 160, I think these have been the hardest 10 episodes. The 150 series was definitely that was a trip. It was hard to get to 160.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, it's like because the hard part is it's so hard when you work nights and then I was away. Like I was doing the fucking my shows. Like I leave next Wednesday. Uh, I'm in Milwaukee to the 18th, and then I get back the 18th, and then I fly out the next day. Like I have less than 24 hours home
Wow.
before I'm out again. So yeah, but that's a short one. So after July 23rd, I'm pretty much like just open. Like I have gotta figure gotta find something for like to do in between that time.
Between that time and the end of the year, or
No, 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 no. Fuck no. I'd be stressing. Um, technically, I don't have anything again as of now till October. So the huge gap. I do have the birthday anniversary with my wife, so we're thinking of taking a trip somewhere.
ooh,
Gotta figure, yeah, gotta figure that one out. May not be as big as we were hoping, but we'll see.
what something small. A small trip to me would be Vegas or Arizona has become the new uh, destination for people for some reason.
Maybe we went to San Diego for a work trip, but we still made it our like had fun on it, and we found a really great happy hour, like an amazing happy hour at this bar. They were giving like top shelf liquor for like $5 as their well. Uh, Food was really cheap, so it was like we got our money's worth out of that one. It was a good time.
Yeah,
So maybe a San Diego trip, maybe like I said, maybe Santa Barbara, or who knows, maybe a little further,
yeah, yeah.
do a little less time.
We'll see. I haven't been to Santa Barbara in a lot. I used to only go to Santa Barbara for work, but I've always enjoyed the small kind of uh, small townness that it has.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I've never been to the Santa Barbara Bowl, which I hear is a good concert venue. So I've always
All
wanted
right.
to go there too. So we'll see. See, speaking of birthdays, 4th of July, America just had a birthday. Um, anything crazy happen? Anything worth talking about?
No, I mean it was very chill. We stayed at home, tried to watch fireworks around us, but it's not the same over here. Like back in I don't know how it is in Inglewood, but back in good old SGV, anywhere you look, you're going to see
Yeah.
fireworks like left and right. They're just flying in every city, even though they're illegal. They were just going, it was like fucking war zone until like 1 in the morning. And over here, it was like we barely saw any, so it was kind of like a loss. So next year we'll plan for something more and better. But yeah, it was very mellow. Smoked a cigar, had some whiskey, you know, nothing too over the top.
Yeah, for me, I don't work. I was in San Pedro working, and whenever you bartend Fourth of July, the one thing you don't see are fireworks because you're just cleaning or you know you're doing the event, and so leaving though when I was leaving to get on the freeway, oh my god, every car was just stopped, just looking at the fireworks. I'm like, dude, I'm trying to get on the freeway, like let's go. And what usually takes me about, I don't know, maybe 5 to 7 minutes to get on the freeway, took me about 23. So
Oh,
yeah,
gross.
it was horrible. But I mean, there was fireworks happening all around. There were people doing fireworks in the Taco Bell parking lot. I was like, what? And then, but the freeway fireworks are always my favorite. So once I finally got on the freeway and I'm driving, it's just popping up everywhere. And
Yeah.
those are always really nice and fun. However, I got home and they were doing fireworks until at least 3 in the morning. And that's tough, especially, when 4th of July or any big holiday is on a weekday, it's not fun because it's like they need to rearrange that holiday to just, okay, it's the weekend, but no fireworks on 4th of July. We'll have them on the weekend because, dude, I'm like, I had to be up at like 5 in the morning the next day, and with all those fireworks going off, it was a rough Wednesday, needless to say, to get into work and then just everybody was just going through the motions. We were doing nothing special. We were just doing regular stuff, and none of us were having it. We were all just like, "Is it time to go home yet?" And that's pretty much the way that ended. But I want to say this though, my car is finally fully fixed with that. I don't know if I told you
Oh,
this or not,
nice.
but when they made my when they redid my car, the guys broke the air vent. You've been in my car, right?
Yeah.
You remember that the air vent all the way to the right that, like,
Yeah.
if you touched it, it would just fall apart. I didn't tell him about that. And but I didn't think like the gift and the curse that is this place that I used was like this was the only like auto body where they like washed my car and they vacuumed it and they detailed like the inside of it. That's never happened before at any auto body that I've ever gone to. They're just like, okay, it's fixed. Here you go. And so when they did
Yeah.
it, that one piece, they were when they were wiping it down, it broke, but they just took it out. They never bothered to try to like replace it or anything. And so of course I never told them about that, but when I went to pick up my car, I was like, "Wait a minute." I'm like, "There's something missing and there's my vent is missing right there." And they're like, "Oh, really?" And I'm like, "Yes." I'm like, "You guys owe me a vent." 2 weeks later,
Like I wasn't gonna notice this big hole in my
I
dashboard.
know, I know. Like, come on, guys. Yeah. Yeah, the things that people try to get away with, But to be fair, like that vent was super iffy as well. So I was like, oh man, I'm gonna get a free vent out of this and get it fixed. So I told him about it, but it took him 2 weeks. It took him 2 weeks to get the vent in, and then it was funny because they're like, okay, they're like, you have until 3 o'clock to get here, and I'm just, and it couldn't happen on the worst day because at work they're turning off all the power because they're trying to fix something, and we had to take out all the food in our refrigerators and our freezers, and we had to take it across the street and put it away. So it was like on that day that they're like, "We need you by 3 o'clock." So here I am, like getting all the carts and just like putting them across the street and stuff. And we still had cleaning to do, but I'm like, I gotta be there by 3, guys. And so I'm like, I'm sorry, and I hate doing that. I hate leaving
Yeah,
people kind of in the lurch, so to speak. So I was like, normally I don't do this. And what's great is people know this about me, and they know that like this is a rarity. So I get a pass, and so I just jumped in my car, went there, and it took them about 15 minutes. And I was finally, and then I was like, okay, my car is finally back to normal. I can finally say the thing is complete. But I will say this: I got like a couple days before, I got a survey that said, so this is an anonymous survey about this dealership or about this auto body. What was your experience? I'm like, these guys broke my vent. like threes all across the board. Just like I'm so pissed.
they broke my vent that was already broken.
Yeah,
Oh shit! I mean, I don't like them. They broke
yeah,
something that I was already broken. That's fucking only you.
I know.
You can be mad at them for doing something that was already done.
But the whole point was that they took it out, and didn't even like replace it or like didn't even try to like I don't know Jimmy rig it or anything. They were just like
Yeah.
that was my thing. So yeah, so I feel like my car is at its full potential now.
Hmm.
This gin and juice is pretty good. I think it's a little bit better than the screwdriver. I want to say
When you like Jim,
I do. I do. There is that factor um, about it. Sports.
sure.
There's something that I
Sport.
wanted to talk. Yeah, there's something I wanted to talk to you about, and it was a headline, and I'm like, David will know about this. Did you see about the security guard of an NBA guy that hit Britney Spears?
Yeah, the number one draft pick, Victor
Yeah.
Wembia.
So he's not even in the NBA.
Not officially.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
is, but he hasn't played an official game yet. But he was like the phenom. He's the one that they've been talking about for like 2 years. Like he's like the second
Okay.
coming of like LeBron type stuff. He's 7'3". He's fucking 18 years old.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And he already has a security guard. Jeez, or security guards, I should say.
Well, he's the number one draft pick. He's making millions of dollars already. And he's French, so he's international. He played in Europe and stuff, so that's why he has such a huge following as well as with women.
Oh,
So apparently, Britney Spears attempted to get a picture with him, and the security guard like shoved her or slapped her.
yeah.
Uh, so it goes to show that you're not as famous as you think you are.
I mean, but don't you think that is a tad bit unnecessary, especially with like women and stuff like that? I can understand if it was
Oh,
a
I
guy.
oh
You know what I mean?
no, your job is to protect the person without doing anything. Like you can be a shield, but you shouldn't put your hands on anybody for it, type of thing. You know what I mean? It's a it's a situation where I don't know everything, but if he did make contact the way he did, then yeah, he was in the wrong, big time. even if it was just a regular person, not just Britney Spears. He, you know, because a lot of people are they would look to sue already. They've been like, oh,
Yeah,
he assaulted me. I'm suing because like I know he has a lot of money. You know, it's his security guard. So they're not even suing the security guard. They're like, we're getting to that money.
right.
So it's a tough gig.
Yeah. Have you ever come across anything like that while doing security? Has anyone ever gotten to that point
Of what we're
where you had to slap them? You're like, look, man.
um if there's a video, remember the video that showed you about the girl that was coming in? I didn't slap her, but like I had to restrain her because she was hitting
Yeah.
me.
Hmm.
So a lot of the issues I have tend to be more with women because I think women don't assume that they're going to be fucking,
Right.
you know, that anything happened to them. So, but yeah.
I rem- yeah, I remember one time I was sitting down at the Cove, and maybe like a couple chairs down, there was a guy that just needed to go. You just picked him up off the chair, and just like kicked him. I was like, I was, I was like, man, that's rough. But that's a bar atmosphere. I'm not condoning that, but I mean, it's like, come on, dude. Um,
Well, my thing is like for me to do it, I'm very calm and like try to de-escalate the situation. But for me to have to like do that, it was like they did something stupid.
yeah,
They're in the wrong. If that's the one that I'm thinking of, I think what happened was it the old Cove? It was still like dark, and
yeah, yeah.
was Nick bartending?
It could have been, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I remember that.
I mean,
So
a lot of the times that it happened, it was
he
old code. Yeah.
he was sleeping at the bar, and we woke him up like, "Hey, you got to go." And then he did one of those, kind of like he's gonna
Oh,
throw up.
yeah.
So I was like, "Nope, come on, you're not throwing up on the bar." What was his name? We didn't 86 and we just kicked him out. I think he worked at a shit at Lazy Dog. If it wasn't Lazy Dog, he was one of those.
Oh,
No,
wow.
he worked at Sizzler. He worked
Okay.
at Sizzler.
It's kind of like a slow. It's been slow for sports. I think that
It
was like,
has been because again, because it's baseball. It's,
yeah. How
it's
dare you?
everything else is like everything else is like draft. The I think the baseball draft starts on Sunday, right?
Yes, yes. It starts during All Star break, which the last game is on Saturday, and yeah, it'll be interesting. And then I always look forward to the All Star break for the home run derby, and I do watch the All Star game as well. So I'm into that stuff. Um, Joey Chestnut, 16th win,
Yes.
unprecedented. He's like the Ronda
Better than me.
Rousey of hot dogs, you know?
Or the Serena Williams or
Yes.
the
Any girl
he
sport.
is yes he is quite the competitor. But it's funny, you would assume that somebody who does that so well can win everything else, but like everybody has their niche, so to speak. Because he does hot dogs, but other people do other foods better than he does. So, you know, when do you retire from that? Like, how do you like how much do you actually get from that event for winning it? Does that last him the whole year? Is he doing fucking like book signings or fucking hot dog signings? Sign my bun.
Probably. He's probably going to like hot dog stands or you know what I mean? They're like meat, Joey Chestnut, type things. I don't
No,
know.
they
Maybe,
travel.
maybe
They have other competitions throughout the U.S. Like I know cake eating, I think, is one, and like drinking lemonade. Who drinks the most lemonade in the
Yeah.
fastest time? So
Well,
I,
if there's
did
one
you
thing,
watch it? Do you watch it like annually?
yeah, I had it on because I mean on 4th of July that's what we had on replay. You know, ESPN was playing that every couple hours. And so we had it on that. We had that and the and cornhole championships going on TV. And I'm like it doesn't get any more 4th of July than cornhole and hot dog eating contests.
Was this the Ocho again?
No, it was on ESPN, and then the other we had two TVs, so ESPN was doing those two, and then on the other TV it was like a full day of UFC. So I was like, this is classic Americana, you know.
Yeah,
But I've always been that
fighting
guy.
in hot dogs.
Yeah, but I've always been that guy, like especially when I was going to the Cove, you know, especially Old Cove, when I would walk in and they you know they would have like nothing. They would have something on, but it was like the local news or you know just things that were just not in my mind like bar appropriate because of like I'm like you have to watch these people talking and you don't know what they're talking about. Whereas sports, you don't need people talking because there's always action. So I would always come in and Andrea
Yeah,
would give me like all like literally all the you know the remotes and then I just like be like what can I find and you know and I would always find fun stuff you know I was there was always I always had a theory that there was always a UFC fight going on and I would always find some UFC going on and then one time I had darts on and another time I had pool on and of course I got like the channel that was always to the far right you know, that really no one ever watched. I always had poker
yeah.
on there, you know what I mean? So you know, it was always like whenever I was there that and I changed all the channels, it was a feast for the eyes, you know what I mean? It was fun. It felt very bar.
Would you say that it was a plethora of things to watch?
It was a plethora. It was. And it was all a bunch of fun stuff. One time I had monster trucks happening. Yeah, it was always a good time. So, you know, I've always taken like you know, anytime I'm working my bar, I always make sure that there's always something going on. It's not news or anything boring and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That
But as you were saying, there's really nothing going on in sports outside of that. Like, there's nothing that's like over like oh my god because it's like it's All Star break, so even baseball is like coming to a close real quick. So it's like such a down time in sports. It's like just waiting for football to come back. Um, yeah, no, I
well,
mean
well,
outside of transfers on soccer and who's signing where, you know, that's. But you have to be a real soccer fan to understand like what these other players mean to these other teams and stuff.
yeah. Well, I will say this. I don't know if you heard the news, but I know you're a big tennis fan. But Wimbledon is relaxing their all white dress code. Did you hear about that? For
I
women,
did not. That's like
yeah, it's to ease the stress of women's periods. You know, which makes sense.
yeah. But does that mean that anytime you see one of the women not in red, you're like, oh, she's on her period. She's not in white. She's on her period.
Yeah, unless all the women get together, like none of us wear white. Unless you win Wimbledon,
That's funny.
unless you win Wimbledon, then you know we'll take you
Yeah,
and redress you. I think that's the way they're gonna kind of go with that.
about that. That is interesting.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. I didn't know that it was that was a thing that at Wimbledon you had to wear all white anyway. So
I didn't either.
oh,
Honestly, I'll be honest with you. I enjoy tennis, but I don't fanboy out of it. I used to. I'll tell you this much. I used to. I I used to love tennis back in the day. With like, I felt like it used to be more competitive. There was more. Um, what's the word? There was like more competition. Like right now, like minus Federer retiring, it was just like
Yeah.
Federer and Nadal. But back then, you had like Agassi and Sampras and Michael Chang, and you had all these other people, and it was like it seemed like it was more competition than now. So it's kind of like we all know how this is going to end,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know if you know this or not, but Netflix is on the verge of landing a Jerry Jones docuseries for the mere pennies on the dollar for mere $50 million. That'll be interesting.
Um,
Docuseries on his life.
on Jerry Jones,
Yeah.
I mean, are they gonna show the picture of him when they were starting getting people, or you know,
Or the or
oh
the
my god,
or the photo that I have with him. Like, and here's Albert with Jerry Jones.
yeah, I am not a Jerry Jones fan. I think he's one of those good old boys. I think I know what he's done for the sport, but I also know what he's done for the sport.
Right.
So, and if they're paying him that much, I don't think they're gonna go in depth and you know, it's a docu series, so it's like following the life of Jones as opposed to who was Jerry Jones the man and how was he brought up.
Mhm.
That's what I want to see. I want to see the fucking dark side of shit. I don't need to see the oh, this is me and fucking I'm already a billionaire.
Yeah.
And this is me making a draft pick.
Yeah. So we'll see. I
I
think
have
the
been watching the. Oh, I'm sorry. I was saying I have been watching the American
oh that
doc.
yeah. How's that?
Oh, it's cool. It's cool. Nothing too in depth. It's really just so far. It's more just like how the show came about.
Okay.
You know what I mean? They touched upon steroids, but nobody's died or anybody's had like affairs or anything. So it's been kind of like meh.
Yeah.
Like I enjoyed the show. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Um. And anything else going on in sports? I think that's it.
Oh, when is the All Star game? When is the All Star game?
I think it's Tuesday. Tuesday.
Oh,
So that's what's kind of going on in sports. Last call for topics.
last
David.
couple. Uh, yeah, it's been kind of a blah week. Said
Yeah.
on wife time, just concentrating on her and then getting stuff ready because I'll be gone for like a good almost 2 weeks, so to speak. I'm back for less than 24 hours, but it's a short trip to Seattle, so that's good. Um, but really, there's been nothing that I really pay attention to. There's that new Twitter killer, supposedly, right? Threads. Have you seen
Oh yeah.
that?
Threads. Yeah. Yeah. I need to sign us up for that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that's like the real hubbub going
Right.
on.
Well,
I
for me.
watched Memphis Belle.
Oh, did you? Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Still holds up, right?
Still holds up for me. For me, made the wife watch it because I the only way to watch it was to either rent the movie or purchase the movie. So I was like, I really want to watch this movie. There's really, when you go through every like the services and go, okay, I don't want to watch this. I don't want to watch this. I don't want to watch this.
Yeah.
Or with me, because sometimes I know like something I want to watch, I know my wife won't want to watch. So
Yeah.
it's trying to find the happy medium. Uh, so it was you could rent Memphis Belle for $3.99 or buy it for $4.99. So I bought it. So I have Memphis Belle available to me at all times. Not that I need to watch it on like
Right.
once a month or anything, but it's there. I can say I have it.
Yeah. You need to watch it at least three more times for it to meet its purchase.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So it was a good
And
cast. Good cast.
yeah, yeah. Eric Stoltz, I believe, is on that. Who else? I
Ray
haven't seen that
Connick
movie.
Jr.
Yeah,
Harry
that's
Connick
right.
Jr. Yeah. Eric Stoltz. Shit. What's why can't I remember his name? Uh, Rudy.
I'm gonna have to go to the internet for this cast.
It's a good cast. John
Yeah.
Lithgow's in there.
It's like, do you want to know about the Memphis Grizzlies? No.
No.
Yeah. Okay. The cast is Matthew Modine. Yeah, Harry Connick Jr., Eric Stoltz, John Lithgow, Tate Donovan, Reed Diamond, and I think those are kind of like the majority
who
of the
who played
known.
Rudy?
Reed
He was
was
Frodo's buddy.
Billy Zane. Was it Billy Zane? What was
No,
his
no, no,
name?
no. The guy that played Rudy.
Oh, Sean Astin.
Uh, Sean Astin. There we go. Honestly,
Yeah.
I think Sean Astin had like the best movie career out of that group after the fact.
Oh, definitely. He was Rudy. He was in Memphis Belle. He did Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, he was in 51st Dates.
Yeah, he was in Stranger Things. Yeah, he's had a good career. And speaking of movies, we were supposed to talk about this, but this is the perfect time. I saw the Magic Mike Trilogy finally,
And
and it is, you know, I, it is such the perfect movie about a stripper up until the third movie. Because like in the first movie I'm like, yeah, all right, cool. And then the second movie they don't bring the love interest back and he loses her, and then he kind of like just bangs some other rando chick. And then the third movie, he's already moved on with her, and then he meets Selma Hayek, and I'm like, well, he's just gonna leave her, in the next movie. I'm like, he's not. They're. In no point are they ever gonna have a permanent love interest for this guy, and I'm like, that is such a stripper thing, Like we all wanted him to, stay with that one girl, and I don't know why they didn't, have her back on, whether it was scheduling issues or they just, didn't want to have her back on. I don't know what the background to that was, but I absolutely adored her. I really wanted her back. Um, and then the third one, the second one was all right because it was like, okay, we're trying to, capture ourselves back to who we were. And I always felt though that Steve Nash was just so, out of sync in all the movies because he really didn't dance. And I was very drawn to him because in all the moves and stuff, he's just kind of walking around like a zombie. They called him Tarzan. I'm like, this guy's fucking zombie because he can't bend, he can't, do anything. But
I love the critique. Like, he's not a dancer. He's a walker.
exactly. The first two films entertaining. The third one though, I was just like, why don't they just call this Magic Mike 3 the money grab? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It just didn't seem. And then like they have an appearance by all the cast, but it's on a Zoom. He's zooming with them. And I'm just like, all right, like this is your way of your go around way of saying like, well, we still had the original cast on. You know what I mean? So, but I did like what they did with the Zoom, where some of them were freezing. You know what I mean? So I was just like, all right, like they're capturing that moment kind of real.
That's what really happens.
Yeah. Yeah, but overall, I would say it was a fun what was it, 7 hours of movie. Again, excluding the third one. I think the third one was the worst out of all of them. I think it does go one, two, three, in my opinion. And like it's so weird because now Channing Tatum, and I'm thinking anytime he goes anywhere, like Pony is his like theme song for like the rest of his life. Even when they bury him in the ground, they're gonna be playing it.
I don't know. I think Channing Tatum has a very good sense of humor. Like I think, and that came from. Have you seen This Is the End?
I have it a long time ago.
So he plays like the gimp, like he plays like the sex slave.
Yeah,
And I was like, when he took that mask, I was like, oh my god! And I felt like that was something that was like, he's not too big of himself, but he can't play this bit role as this terrible fucking character. It was
yeah,
fucking hilarious. So I mean, yeah, I mean, good about it. I think I might actually watch the new 21 Jump Streets. I heard those are okay.
yeah. Throw Jump Streets. You know what? You know what? And upon further review of the movie, there were times where I was like, you know what? It'd be funny if like Channing Tatum's dad was John Cena because like those two guys are like almost the same person. And I was like,
Yeah.
that'd be funny if John Cena was in here as his dad or something like that, or they and all I kept thinking is they need to make a buddy movie or something like that because it's pretty hilarious. I'm trying to think what else Channing Tatum is like known for like lately. I know he was doing the White House Downs and London Has Fallen movies, but he's kind of fallen off the radar. I want to say.
Um, I don't know. I think he's moved more into like the comedy movies. So I think that sometimes that takes away, what you're in. They don't see you as a serious actor, so it's hard for you to get anything that isn't like a comedy or showing off your body. I mean, that's the typecast, right? Like when you're fit like that. And I don't
It was
think star. So again, you start getting limited on what your roles are. He does action in movies, but they're comedy movies. It's not like you
yeah.
know. So I don't know.
Yeah, you know what? I remember he was in Bullet Train, and that might have been the most recent thing. But he just has a cameo role in there as well.
No.
So I don't know. Well, I'm interested. I want I'm actually thinking about following him on the Instagram too. Like like this movie got me like really like oh man, Channing Tatum, okay.
All right. Yeah. Hey, and if that's anything, that's something that proves like, hey, it's like as just a wannabe star, you're like, all right, I find interest in you. You entertained me. You look
Yeah,
entertained, and give him a like, give him a follow, give us a like, give us a follow,
yeah, yeah. Follow us on
give us some money.
Instagram. Yeah, we're on Venmo. Drinks the words by. Subscribe to us on the YouTube. One last thing before we go, and it was like for me, it was a long weekend for me. I had a couple days off, so I was able to just binge watch a bunch of stuff, and I finally got to Beef on the Netflix. Have you seen that?
Oh, okay. I have not. If it was a movie, I'd probably watch it. But I know it's a series, so I have it. Like I don't have the time to give my all into it.
Yeah, not a movie about the actual meat. This is a movie about two individuals that have an interaction at a store and everything that follows. Holy cow! I'm so glad that it was a movie or a series and not a movie because it needed all that time to see just how crazy we can get. And I know this has happened to us, at at least one time where we don't encounter road rage, but we're on the streets or something and somebody like cut you off or something like that, and you feel really pissed. And to see this happen in a series was just reminded me how crazy we are as humans, as a species. Because I'm like, I think an ant would
Yeah.
either brush that off or whatever. Um, so I highly recommend it, and it was recommended to me by my mom, ironically. So I got to give her a call and talk to her about it. But it was really good. It was really good. That's if you're on a flight, you have like 6 hours to kill. I definitely recommend that. It was maybe more. It might have been 8 hours. I forgot. It was a long day though, but it just sucks you in. So at no point is there like a lull because you're just like, holy cow. And just when you think it's over, no, it's like what? So it gets my endorsement. But I know a lot of people have been talking about it for a while, and I was kind of late to the train on that. But just thought I'd throw that out.
It's the beauty of streaming. You don't have, you can be late and still fucking catch everything.
Yeah, exactly. And just like us, you could catch everything. Log on to drinkstowardsby.com and catch up on the 160 shows that we have done. There you'll see our plethora of streaming platforms to listen to us, or you can watch us on YouTube. Go ahead and click any of those banners. As Dave mentioned before, we have a Venmo. Hey, it's been empty for a long time. Help us refill this Venmo. And by refill, I mean we didn't have like millions of dollars in there. We had like maybe $20 or something like that.
At a
So
time, yeah. It's
yeah,
like,
it wasn't a treasure chest for sure.
yeah.
So go ahead and I think we did a good job, or you just want to help us out. How about that? Just click
You
that
want to buy me
little.
a drink for my birthday?
There it is. There it is. Um. So yeah, David, we've reached that time, and what are we cheersing to this week?
Cheers, 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 cheers. I haven't had much to cheers. Um, cheers to uh, I was gonna say what? What I had? Cheers to Amazon for making it so convenient to take my money. As I'm scouring the room behind here, I'm like, dude, there's packages and envelopes. I'm like, and it just becomes very convenient. Like, I think uh fucking the pandemic really just like put you in a position like, oh, I can't go out, might as well order something. And
Yeah.
now it's become so easy. So cheers to capitalism on this one. This is like cheers to taking my money.
Yeah. And if I can add to that, I know exactly how you feel because I was gonna buy some LAFC gear this week, and I was on their store. I was like, okay, let's check out, and I was about to hit the checkout button, and it's like, oh, you're picking this up. I'm like, no, 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 no. Where's the shipping? They're like, no, 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 no. This is these orders are pickup only. And I'm like, what? I gotta go there and pick it up. I'm like,
No,
you're not getting my money. And then I'm scouring. I'm on Fanatics. I'm all these other places like looking to buy these particular products. They don't have them. I'm like, damn it! I might actually have to go to the store and get it. So I know exactly how you feel. My cheers is gonna go out to sex. Because without it, David would not be here, or for the fact none of us would be here. So you know, cheers to sex.
I was like, are you having some? No.
No, God no. I'm choosing the idea,
Cheers,
the thought of it. The
cheers, cheers to sex. Then
Oh man. Well, guys, that's it. That's gonna wrap it up for this edition of Drinks Words by David. Let's kick him out.
if you're not paying on the Venmo, you gotta go.
which is pretty much everybody's will get out.
Everybody's leave.
Yeah, we're out of here later.
Bye, guys.